Man, welcome back to the Cruise Dynasty podcast. Back at it again, doing what we do, talking the fake stuff. Craft Man in the building. What's going on, Craft Man?
Just hanging out. Just got home from work not long ago, so still hyped up from driving that truck around and ready to talk some football. And shoot, this is probably the biggest draft weekend of the year coming up, either this weekend or next. Both of my drafts are next weekend, so we're getting this out kind of a little late if y'all are doing y'all's draft this weekend, but hopefully y'all can give it a listen because these next two episodes we're going to put out. Hopefully tomorrow or the day after.
Put them out tonight, Craft Man. Tonight. We're getting too close. We're doing 2 episodes. We're dropping them both tonight because people are drafting tomorrow. I mean, we're recording Thursday night, so people are drafting tomorrow, Friday.
Yeah.
If they want a little a late push, me and Craft Man, we're gonna finish it up. Our quarterback and tight end rankings this episode. We're gonna record another one and give out some booms and busts. So, but we going back to back. Heck, the truth is, me and Crab go back to back every night, but we release the episode maybe a couple of days later, the second one. But I might just stop doing that shit, Craft Man. I might just record them and just throw them all out right then. I don't see why not.
Nah, I don't see why not either. I mean, we're gonna look like fools when we miss the news anyway. When something big happens 2 days later, and we're dropping an episode like the JJ McCarthy thing.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's gonna be so great. And then he's done.
Right, man. All right, so listen, we getting down to business. 5-star review, everybody. Thanks for adding the podcast. Yeah, look, Craft Man, digging through it. I worked the night shift, so I come home from break. I got a notification. The thing said a fan mail. I said, "What the fuck what is happening here, Craft Man? We got a fan out there." It looks like for real, legit got like a real comment. So if you want to ask us questions anytime, it's a send a text message thing. Here's the thing though, Craft Man. I read it and I was like, all right, gonna reply. Man, I have no way to reply on our little Buzzsprout account. So that'll be something that me and the Craft Man work on in the future. Cause when people got questions, I don't want to wait till a whole episode we hop on and then say something because we're gonna answer his question tonight. I'd like to get it right back to him. You know what I mean, Craft Man?
That just shows you how bad we are with technology. Like we literally just hop on Discord and record, and then Matt hits a couple buttons and puts the episode out, and that is all we know about how to work the inner workings of doing a podcast.
Right. And we got our tech guy, C Swizzy, who holds us down. Yeah, couldn't even have got this far without old C Swizzy. He ain't with us tonight. He's been busy lately. But yeah, he holds us down. But yeah, man, listen, everybody, keep on. I guess it's a legit fan mail. We got some people. It says it's from California. When I saw it, I was like, somebody from the crew talking shit. Here we go. But then we got a legit question. So hey, thanks for listening to the podcast for real, and tell a friend to tell a friend. And we finna answer your question right now. So crap, man, we do the Cruise Dynasty podcast. We talk about how we do it all, man. We do that dynasty, we do that redraft, gambling. That's like one of our main things. We always hitting those gambling streets. The question we got there, Craft Man, is a keeper league. The only thing I'm not doing, I guess I don't play IDP fantasy football. I don't know if you could ever get me into IDP league though, Craft Man.
I played it once, and it just wasn't for me. It's kind of just go pick a linebacker that's going to get a lot of tackles and just throw them in there. It's almost like the kicker situation where just put somebody in there.
Yeah.
Like pick a defense a good defense, and try to find you a good player. I have no analysis on IDP.
All right, so listen, keepers on the list. Like even our most important redraft league, I know Craftman kind of flirted the idea of turning it into a keeper league. Keeper is next on my list. Now I can't wait. Well, next year for sure, I'm hopping on it. So, when I answer this question right here, take it for what it's worth. We could be talking out our ass, but me and Craftman get the gist. So he's got a from West Covina, California, 4580, 3-player keeper league draft, and he has the 3rd overall pick. So here are the top 5 guys he's considering based on who's available. It's Cooper Kupp, Malik Neighbors, Marvin Harrison Jr., Chris Olave, Derrick Henry, and he kept Mahomes, Ayuk, and Devontae Adams. Who would you prioritize? Have a good one, Craftman. The bad man, Craftman. What do you say?
Well, I don't know what his team looks like, but I'll go ahead and say what I know about keeper leagues, so that the people listening, if they haven't played in one. So what happens is the guy who's asking the question, or girl, all the players in their league, all the managers in their league have keepers that they keep, and it looks like they're probably keeping 2. You said 3 keepers, so three keepers. So the keeper takes place of their draft position. So if he were to take, say, Marvin Harrison, if he wants to keep him next year, he will lose his 2nd round pick and keep Marvin Harrison, and so on and so forth. So value does matter in these keeper leagues. Like if you were to get a player like, I don't know, Raheem Mostert or something in a keeper league, he was drafted in like the 10th round or 15th round last year. That would replace your 15th round pick. You get Raheem Mostert. So, for me, the answer to this question got to be Marvin Harrison. He's young. You don't want to mix up keeper and dynasty. They're not the same, but there is a little bit of overlap. And he really is the first in average draft position this year. And from what I think, out of all these players, outside of Derrick Henry, I think he's going to score the most points and be the best player for your team. And then you can get, if he does break out, say he has a Jamar Chase type rookie season, you get to keep him next year, no hands on him. So I think he is most likely going to be my pick for the main guy I would keep right there.
So in theory, if you're keeping, like this year, you kept Devontae Adams. In theory, you could be replacing that, and maybe say next year Mahomes, Ayuk, and Marv or whoever. I'm with you, Craft Man. I would say Marv, and then we got Olave. If you, in my opinion, Olave's ceiling is always capped. Marv doesn't even feel like that, even though he's a rookie. Doesn't even feel like that this year. Henry, you know how we feel about Derrick Henry with the Ravens. Not a bad pick.
But can you
I would
keep him
even
next year? I don't know.
Yeah, I agreed. Agreed. Then we got, what about neighbors though? We went rookie. We said Marvin Harrison. What about the cheaper rookie out there?
Well, it's not dynasty. It's more of a redraft league still. You're trying to win this year.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that he wants to win the championship this year. I mean, it's redraft, so there's no other option. You win this year. And I think Derrick Henry and Marvin Harrison are close enough in what I think is going to happen this year and the points that they're going to score, where the age does matter a little bit in that aspect, because you want to give yourself an opportunity to keep that player next year. Yeah. And Marv can have a great season. Derrick Henry is going to be great too, but
yep.
You want to leave yourself a little option there.
And he's got Cooper Kupp on this list, and I think Cooper Kupp will be real good this year too. Answer's Marv. That's what Marv, Olave, Henry, Neighbors, Kupp. I might would say Marv, Henry. I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of Olave. Marv and Henry, but Marv is the answer for us. Hey, send us a picture of that draft, man. Let us know how your team is. I just want to see it.
Oh, for sure.
And thanks for listening. I've been making jokes to my old lady at home all day, man. That one fan out there, man. Can't believe crap, man. I was like, gotta get on the pod tonight. Gotta reply to our fan. Man, let's dive right into it, Craft Man. We got QB rankings, tight end rankings tonight. Combined the both of them, and when we play redraft, I'm not in no Superflex redraft league, so I can't sit here and say this and that. So I only went down to 12 in my quarterback rankings, and then I only went to 10 at tight end, and they better be happy that I went to 10, Kraft man. I've been known to stop it at 6. Uh,
We've been known to not do it at all.
yeah. So tonight, let's just start it off right with these quarterback rankings. I have not heard the Kraft man's, and the Kraft man has not heard mine. So I'll just go ahead and just do me a little tier 3, and Kraft man, or not a tier 3, a tier 1, Josh Allen, Patty, Hurts. And I just believe Josh Allen's still going to keep it rolling. I think great quarterbacks are great quarterbacks, and he's just going to stay great. And I know things are looking dooming, gloom and doom. But you remember Patty Mahomes? He lost his best wide receiver. He wasn't exactly terrible. I don't remember fantasy wise, but heck, what did he do? He go win a Super Bowl? It don't matter. Patrick Mahomes was still good that year. I believe the same thing is going to happen with Josh Allen. He's still going to run the ball a lot. He's still going to score touchdowns. With that said, Patty Mahomes bounces back this year. Those pocket passers, sometimes it's just not their year, and things didn't work out. I think it's probably going to be better this year for Patty Mahomes. I would expect a big season from Patty Mahomes. What say you, Kraft man?
Yep, that's my QB1 this year. And you were talking about Tyreek leaving. In 2022, without Tyreek, he was the QB1, 520 fantasy points, threw for 5,250 yards and 41 touchdowns with 12 picks. And I think this year, it's hard to predict somebody to throw for 5,000 yards. That's just kind of outrageous. But the weapons that he has with Rashee Rice, they brought in Xavier Worthy and Hollywood. They still got Travis Kelce there. He's just got so many options. And if you look at what he's done in the past, last year was the outlier. It wasn't the norm. So, like you said, pocket passes are going to kind of have their ups and downs. But I like the weapons a lot more than he had last year. He was throwing to Kadarius Toney and Gantling and just a whole bunch of bums. Rashee Rice was good, but he came on of the year. It's incredible they won a Super Bowl with the receiving core they had last year. So I'm just expecting one of them bounce back years where he's throwing for 40 touchdowns and 4,500 plus yards.
Yep. Couldn't agree with you more. This year with Xavier Worthy up in there, I've been seeing some good things from Xavier Worthy. Chris might be on to a little something with them guys. I mean, it could be possible that Xavier Worthy and Rashee Rice could be that duo, young as they are, him and Patty. At 3, Kraft man, I got Jalen Hurts still, and I know people are low, or I'm not gonna say low, but I think people are skeptical of Jalen Hurts, and maybe even the Eagles. I've been, kind of saying it all year. I'm kind of buying in on Eagles. All these Eagles at their price feels good to me this year. And I know they had a bad back half of the year, and that happens, but I just believe fantasy-wise, Jalen Hurts still going to do his thing. They still going to be tush-pushing if they down short. He's still going to run. I think he'll throw the ball more. And I think Kellen Moore's going to scheme it where he's not going to have to make difficult throws all the time. I think he's going easy throws to the slot receiver. And I think Jalen Hurts will he still has that upside to me where he could finish up there, number 1. That's a tier 1 for me with them 3 still.
Yeah, if Kellen Moore really comes in and Jalen Hurts picks up that system and he's rocking and rolling. I mean, Jalen Hurts really hasn't had a steady offensive coordinator since he's been in the league or in college. So he's pretty much used to changing systems like this. And he's going to get, like you said, the tush push is still going to be there. And he was just extremely solid. He's like the Amon Ra of the quarterback situation where you don't see any games where he busts. He had a game of 9 points last year, but every single other game, pretty much over 20 points, except for in week 1, scored 15 points and 6-point passing touchdown. So he's so safe at the quarterback position where I think he might be one of the better picks in the top. Like if he's going at the back of the 3rd round, I've seen a lot of times, and we're kind of getting into draft strategy right here, but it's a perfect stack if you draft A.J. Brown, say, at the 109 and come back at the 309, take Jalen Hurts, you can end up with that stack pretty quick.
Yeah. Yep, I'm with you. So is that how you have your top three right there, Craftman? You got them three, or you
Well, I
mixed it
just
up?
have Mahomes at 1, Allen at 2. That's the only difference.
Or from here on is where I'm sure we're gonna differ. At number four,
Probably not.
I got Kyler Murray at number 4.
That's absurd. That is
Yes, sir.
way too high because I got him at 5.
Hey, telling y'all, man, I'm really high on Kyler Murray this year. If you listen to any podcast, he's the best value in redraft. You can get him in the 6th or whatever. I mean, I was looking at sleeper ADP, and I think he was even lower than what I really even thought
Not
when
in
I was.
Yahoo, though. Not in Yahoo. I think he's like the QB6 in Yahoo. So it is a lot. He's the QB9 in Sleeper and the QB6 in Yahoo. So there is a change depending on what platform because I did a couple mocks on Yahoo the other night and I'm like, well, Kyler Murray was a value.
Yeah. Well, listen, I'm in a league with y'all. I call it my most important redraft league, and I've just accepted I'm not getting Kyler Murray this year. But he is my guy. I've been saying it. You know, I've been pounding it dynasty wise, Craft man. Right when he went down, I've been pounding it. I've been saying go get Kyler Murray. And those super flex startups, I've been saying draft him. I mean, I've seen him drop to the 6th round before in a startup. I was drafting him in the 2nd, willing to draft him in the 1st. Kyler Murray is just great as a fantasy. I mean, all that stuff that people don't like, the Madden and the Call of Duty, like that shit has no effect on fantasy football. He's gonna go out there, he's gonna get those hidden rushing yards. He's got him a number 1 receiver to grow with. This year it all pays off. I think he goes off this year.
It is so crazy how people's opinions changed on Kyler Murray based on one report that came out saying that he didn't, study tape, and that was like 2 years ago at this point.
Yeah.
And it is still kind of hanging on to him where he keeps getting devalued. But this was in his rookie year as a QB6, he was a QB3, the QB10 in 14 games. Last year he was a QB9 when he came back, and the Cardinals were absolutely terrible before he got there. I mean, they were down there with like the Patriots and stuff in total yards and offense. And then he comes back, leads them, and then they become a top 10 offense in total yards. And he didn't have Marvin Harrison. Trey
Yeah.
McBride had just broken out as a tight end. He was sitting there throwing the ball to pretty much just Trey McBride, Greg Dortch,
Yeah.
and Rondell Moore, players like this. So, and the rushing upside's still there. He's gonna get around 600 rushing yards. His rushing TDs is always higher than it as expected because he's a little smaller. You don't really look at him like a Josh Allen, but he's had 11 rushing touchdowns in a single year before. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you just got a real high floor with him. The only thing I can say about with Kyler is I've had him, and he's a stressful player because he runs around with like a chicken with his head cut off half the time behind the line of scrimmage, and you don't get points until the fourth quarter a lot of times. I mean, you're sitting there wondering what's going to happen, and then bam, 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, and you're right back in it. He's a very stressful quarterback to have.
Crap, man. Who do you have at number 4?
I got Lamar at number 4.
I got Lamar at 5. So we just kind of have that one flip flop. Listen, Lamar obviously always going to be rushing the ball. I think this year you're gonna see Mark Andrews stay a little healthier this year. No season-ending
We hope.
injuries. I think you're gonna see a little more consistency from these guys a little bit this year. Just another year. Lamar another year. Um, Zay Flowers. We'll see how that goes. I've been kind of out on Zay Flowers. Rashad Bateman. You know I'm out on Rashad Bateman. Just sold him today, Kraft man. Couldn't believe it. Got rid of his ass. Little roster clogger he is. Um,
Sound like
um,
Yoda.
but yeah. I'm pretty good with Lamar. I think Lamar will probably have a good year, and I think this year I know a lot of his production came in like a couple games. Like he finished high, but it didn't feel like it last year.
He
I feel
wasn't
like
he wasn't as consistent. He'll definitely have some weeks where he lets you down. I mean, we just mentioned Jalen Hurts being so steady.
right,
Lamar's definitely not that. He had, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. He had 4 games under 15 points last season. So
Yeah, I'm with you. So, who we got next, Craft Man? Who you got at number, or what kind of tier you got? What you got?
So that first tier was definitely Mahomes, Allen, and Hurts, and then Lamar and Kyler in the same tier. And at QB6, I got Joe Burrow. And
Dude,
I'm
identical.
oh really? I was
Yeah,
very surprised that you would put Joe Burrow that high. I haven't heard you say one positive thing about Jamar Chase, about Joe Burrow,
yeah.
about any
Listen,
of them.
I've had some things to say about them, but because they're getting put in names, Jamar Chase, I feel like gets way less criticism than Amon Ra. To me, that's just crazy. So I've had some things to say this year about him. But with that said, I would still take Jamar Chase real high, and I would still take Joe Burrow. Listen, these pocket passes, some years it doesn't work. He was hurt last year. It didn't work last year. So I think he could really bounce back this year. Listen, just for the record, I got Burrow and Stroud back to back. I got Burrow at 6, Stroud at 7. I've been comparing them to each other constantly. They're on stack teams, they're pocket passers. And they're good. They're gonna go off. You know, Stroud, I think will go off. He went off last year. I think it'll come back a little bit this year. So that's just kind of where I stand with Burrow and Stroud. Just to that's just pretty much my next tier though, Craft Man. That's the reason why I threw Stroud's name in there.
And I got Stroud at 7 too. So we're in lockstep with that one too. And CJ Stroud, if you're drafting on Yahoo, he is a little bit lower than he would be in Sleeper. So we've been saying that I'm totally off of Stroud this year in Sleeper. He's the QB5, which is a little
Yeah,
bit high, and he's going like in the 4th round a lot of times, which I'm
Craft.
just not doing that.
Don't mean to cut you off. I will say this. I've told you I would have no CJ Stroud, all those top quarterbacks. In my last best ball I did on Underdog, he fell a whole round below ADP. And I took him. I have a CJ Stroud share now for the first
Yeah.
time. With I almost took Josh Allen. He was the quarterback one. He was going kind of low, and I was like, dude, I'm for real about to take Josh Allen if he comes to me. That would be the first time. I've been saying I'll never draft them guys. Sorry to interrupt, though, Craft Man. I'm just proud of my one CJ Stroud share.
You should be proud of it. I mean, when it comes to when you're in your draft and you're drafting in your home leagues now, this isn't really best ball season anymore. When you're drafting in your home leagues, a lot of people that are in your leagues, especially in mine, we share a lot of the same opinions. So
Yeah.
there does come a point where a player does become a value, even though we say that. Even like Sam Laporta, I mean, he's going in like the 2nd round. There's no way I'm touching him, but it depends.
Yeah.
Like if his ADP is going to fall, then
Right.
if he's in the 4th round, then I might hit on something like that.
Yep. Agreed 100%. All right. Craft Man, where are we at next? 8. Number 8. I'm curious. We're definitely going to be different right here. It got to be.
Number 8, I got Anthony Richardson.
Who you got at 9?
Dak.
Okay. Who you got at 10? 8, 9, 10. Give me 8, 9, 10, Craft Man.
A-Rich, Dak Prescott, and Jordan Love, 8, 9, 10.
All right. I do got the same 3 as you, but just in a different order.
Who you got?
I
Dak?
got Jordan Love at 8, Anthony Richardson at 9, Dak at 10, and
I knew you wouldn't put Dak up at the top of that tier. I just knew it.
I honestly could put Dak ahead of Anthony Richardson because I'm just gonna be real, Craft Man. I was slowly buying in, but I'm just like back to where we was on Anthony Richardson. Like we've both of us have been on the same page. We've been done said that he could be pretty good in fantasy football and just be totally ass in real football. I'm just starting to wonder how totally ass are we talking? Because from what I've seen, it ain't good, and then from what I'm reading, it sure ain't good. Um, Me and Craftman, we've been critical of Anthony Richardson. Now, with that said, I still tried to go get Anthony Richardson in Dynasty, and I was, oh, he's just gonna go off. They're gonna hit him with some easy throws. I just got to see it. So, anyways, Jordan Love, I kind of like what the Packers are doing. I think the offense is going to be better, for a longer period of time. You know how last year it felt like, I can't remember what game it was, but it was like, okay, now the offense is this is what the offense is gonna be going forward. It's just like it looks like Jordan Love's a different player. It's gonna be like that for a whole year. So 8, 9, and then Dak. I've been done said Dak could lead the league in pass attempts. Could be higher on this list, big time.
Yeah, we're talking about just an absolute league winner with Dak Prescott at the end of the
Yep.
year last year. And going back to Anthony Richardson a little bit, the more I think about it, just like you said, I'm right back to where we began. And
Yeah.
Shane Steichen is the only reason that I'm even hanging on by a thread and not just saying that this is identical to the Justin Fields situation. It's only because he's playing with the Colts and I like the offensive coordinator. But if you go back to last season with Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles, Shane Steichen wasn't there, but they were running a similar offense where Philadelphia got figured out and they were terrible. And if NFL defenses have figured out how to play a quarterback similar to Jalen Hurts and to keep him contained in the pocket and to make him make passes like Anthony Richardson, if they can do that, he's going to have a massive problem because I really think that out of all the quarterbacks that we're going to talk about today, shoot, I got rankings all the way down to 24. I don't know if we'll get there. He's probably the worst passing quarterback in this out of all of them. I
Without
still I
question.
still think his pocket presence is questionable. I still think that his accuracy is questionable. I mean, he had a shoulder injury last year, so it's not like he was able to work on a lot of he didn't get to throw a lot in the offseason. He didn't get to throw a lot in training camp. So I don't think that's going to improve just by by sheer luck that he's just became an accurate passer
Yeah.
out of nowhere.
Yeah. Any concern, CD? Is it there? Playing
Not at
football?
all.
Me neither. So I
Jamar
mean, I
Chase
don't know.
is actually the one that I'm worried about the most out of all of them.
I think they'll all be playing ball, man. Every single one of them.
I just think Chase isn't going to get paid, so he's just going to have to play. Jamar
Yeah.
Chase is only 2 years. He's got 2 years left in his contract, and CD's a year ahead. So there is a difference there. Jamar Chase is just asking for his money a little earlier.
Yeah. Kraft, let me just round off my last two, and then you can just dive into whatever you want to talk about through your 24. I went Jaden Daniels at 11. And to me, he's like the wild card of this year. He's the one that could just, you know, you might fuck around and win your championship drafting Jaden Daniels. I might would even reach on him in ADP if you really didn't feel comfortable with the QB situation because this is the one who could take the top off. I mean, he could be really bad. He could be terrible, Kraft man. This is the total wild card. He could kill you. I mean, you're getting him at quarterback 11. How much is he really killing you? You know, you could still patch it up with plenty of guys later on, but I don't know. Rushing ability. He's got a deep ball. We'll see.
I
Look
mean,
good in preseason.
we have seen a quarterback that played on a bad team with a losing record finish or get drafted as like a top 5, top 6 quarterback last season named Justin Fields. And Jaden Daniels is a lot better passer. Great college production. And he's got an alpha. He's got Terry McLaurin out there. I don't think the team's going to be very good. And I think that's the difference between Anthony Richardson and Jaden Daniels, who we just talked about. I think Jaden Daniels is a better player than Anthony Richardson by a good margin. But as far as fantasy goes, A. Rich is still going to be good. But Jaden Daniels in the 10th round, I almost am at the point now where I'll take Jaden Daniels as my second quarterback.
Yeah.
And I'll also take Jaden Daniels as my first quarterback in the 10th round and wait a little later for a safer option like a Matthew Stafford, Kirk Cousins, something like that to throw in there. Because the 10th round pick, I mean, you're looking at kind of a long shot anyway at the other positions. You might as well just take him.
Yep. Kraft, to end it, you're gonna like this one. Number 12, T Law. You know me. I'm a believer in T Law.
Yeah,
Keep it
we're
in the top
different.
5.
We're different on both of them guys. I got at we stopped at 10 with Jordan Love. So at 11, 12, 13, I got Brock Purdy, Jared Goff, and Tua.
Yeah, I'm with
And
you,
then
man. No
I got
doubt.
Stafford over Trevor Lawrence.
Tripping.
I don't think so. Yeah, where are you drafting Puka at? Where are you drafting Cooper Cup at?
Man, that don't mean nothing.
It
I
means
mean,
a
they gonna be
lot.
good. They gonna be good, no doubt. I mean, hey, I might go get me
Like,
some Ram stacks this year. Might have to
Stafford's
adjust
a
on y'all.
steal. Stafford's a steal in your drafts, in my opinion. I got him at QB 15, and he's going as the QB 20,
Yeah,
even lower.
I
And I
I
think in
agree.
Yahoo he's around like QB 24, which is crazy to me.
Any anything interesting in your rankings? Dish them on out before we move to these tight ends.
Got Caleb Williams at 20, Deshaun
Yeah,
Watson at 21.
yeah.
Those are behind Kirk Cousins and Justin Herbert.
Okay.
I know people aren't going to like that. They love some Caleb Williams. And I'm definitely not saying that you shouldn't take a chance on Caleb Williams. But where he's going in drafts, I'm not touching him.
No, heck no. He was
I'd
going
rather
in
have
like
Jaden Daniels later.
yeah. Let's see. In
But
sleeper, he's going QB 12 in sleeper.
yeah, that's just way too high. I
Yeah,
like him a lot more as my second like break fantasy guy. You know, my second
yeah.
quarterback that's gonna I draft a guy that's decently safe, and then if Caleb Williams just blows up and he's the player that everybody thinks he is, then you can just throw him in there and
All
roll
right,
with it.
Kraft. All right, Kraft. I'm ready to move on to tight ends if you are.
I guess.
Get
Freaking
them on. Let's do
Tight end
it.
time. Let's go.
All right, listen. For real. I know mine are gonna look a little bit different. And let's see. How were we saying? We were doing most of my rankings I've been doing this year. I've been pretty much ranking them where I would take them, especially running backs and wide receivers. Quarterbacks, I kind of accounted for where I thought they would finish. Tight ends, I'm gonna kind of do the same. It's a little bit of mixture of both. Number one, Sam Laporta. You know I'm not drafting no Sam Laporta any. He would have to draw. I mean, obviously, if he falls like 7, 8, 9 picks below ADP, I might just bloop, click on it, but it's probably not happening. Sam Laporta at 1 feels safe. What? You in agreement with that one, Kraft?
I am not in agreement. I got Sam Laporta at 3. I got Mark Andrews at number 1.
You are out your mind, Kraft, man.
Hey, we will see. We will see about
we,
that as the season
hey,
goes on.
me and the Kraft man took Mark Andrews in a startup this year on FFPC, so it just cracks me up. The bias in you. Oh, he's gonna
Hey,
be number one.
that definitely has nothing to do with the FFPC draft. I don't have Mark Andrews pretty much anywhere, but he's the
Yeah,
first tight end that I'm taking every time at ADP, and it's not even ADP related. I think he's going to finish number 1. So of course, I think he's going to be a steal in the 4th, 5th round where he's going. If he's in the 5th round, you might as well just go ahead and mark me down for Mark Andrews. You ain't even got to worry
yeah.
about it.
Number 2 then. I already know I'm different. I
I
got
got Trey
Dalton.
McBride.
I got Dalton Kincaid.
Dalton Kincaid at number 2.
Yes, sir. Hey, breakout. This is his breakout year. You're gonna see a year of Josh Allen. You're gonna see a replication of the Kansas City, Travis Kelsey. They're gonna rely on Dalton Kincaid to
I
be
do
the
think they're going to
guy.
rely on him.
They're gonna rely on him to be the guy, and he's gonna make some big plays, and he's gonna get PPR points. It's the number 1 receiver. Stephon Diggs is out. I do think they'll run the ball more, but Curtis Samuel already banged up. I feel like he'll get a lot of touches. He'll be on the field and he'll get some touches. It ain't gonna do much. They're gonna rely on Dalton Kincaid to score touchdowns. The whole shebang. I buy into Kincaid big time.
Just to show the difference in like Kincaid and Mark Andrews, as I was hating on your pick, they're only 3 spots different in ADP. But
Yeah,
Laporta is 21 spots different than Dalton Kincaid in ADP as of right now. I still can't
yeah.
believe people are taking him that early.
Craftman, you got Trey McBride at 2, and I like hearing that because I just traded for Trey McBride from you.
Yes, you
So
did, and I hated to do it, but you made me an offer that I just couldn't refuse. So go ahead and tell them about the trade, Matt.
I traded George Kittle and a first, my first,
Your first,
yeah,
which looks worse
for,
than it did like 2 days after I got that first.
and I got Trey McBride back, and I got Kyler Murray as my QB too, Jalen Hurts and Kyler Murray. Add Trey McBride to the mix, and my backup quarterback is now my backup tight end is what's his face for the Packers. I really can't even think of his name right
Luke
now.
Musgrave. Luke Musgrave.
Yeah, my tight end too. So yeah, but yeah, Trey McBride. I mean, I like Trey McBride. I got him at 3, Craft man.
Trey McBride was just a beast, man. Let's see here, from weeks 13 to weeks 18, he was a tight end 4 or tight end 5, but he was just outstanding. I mean, you're talking about he had a bye week during that time, and that's why it's down. But 18 points, he had a bye week, then 15, 6, 7, 10 points last season. I mean, he was pretty much Kyler Murray's everything. I think he's going to be just as good with Marvin Harrison there to take a little bit off of one another. I think they're going to be like the perfect 1-2 duo for that team going with Kyler. So, yeah, I got Trey McBride at 2, and I remembered very early in the offseason last year when I had a Twitter account, I said something like, just go ahead and trade your second round rookie pick, and go ahead and get Trey McBride. And at the time, it looked good until Sam Laporta and Dalton Kincaid came along, and then it didn't look so good. So I was like, if you're thinking about taking a tight end, just go ahead and get Trey McBride. He's had 1 year in the league. It takes rookies a while to get situated. Zach Ertz is going to be gone, this and that, and it did pan out. But the only thing we didn't realize was that 2 rookies were going to come in and just have like outstanding seasons.
Right. All right, Craftman. I got Andrews at 4. That's where I got him.
Boo. Dumb. Stupid.
I'm higher on Andrews this year than I have been. He's burned me 2 years in a row. 2 years in a row, his ass. So, and I still was cool with taking him in that startup with you, Craftman. The value was just sitting there. I remember just sitting there like, son of a bitch. Like, damn, I have to take this man. I
You
have no
knew.
choice. Yeah, I did. But listen, I still like Andrews, and like I said when we talked about Lamar, I think there's going to be a little bit of a consistency this year. I think Andrews makes it this year. I mean, he's not going to go down 3 years in a row. What's the chances of that?
Don't even start with that crap.
Yeah. All right,
You,
go ahead, Craft Man. Read me some rankings.
so after you went, well, I just want to point out with Mark Andrews last season, he got hurt later on in the year. He was a
Yep.
tight end 2 before he got injured again. I mean, I understand like this is kind of what Mark Andrews does, but just like Travis Kelce last year, Mark Andrews didn't play in week 1. So you're talking about in total points, he was right behind Travis Kelce again as a tight end 2, and he stays there. He just stays right there in the top 5, top 4, and it used to be always him and Kelce kind of racing for it, but just
Yeah.
the injuries have kind of screwed him up the last couple of years. But I don't like doing my rankings based on injuries, so
Right.
I don't think he's any riskier than any of these other guys.
Yeah, agreed.
All
Definitely.
right.
And that's why I got him at 4. All right, go
Well,
ahead, Craft.
I got Travis Kelce at 4. Got to put him in somewhere, Matt. Come on now. Where you got him at,
Listen,
like 10?
no, listen, and this is the truth. I got Travis Kelce in my most important league. Tonight, I ranked him at 6. I even got George Kittle ahead of him. I think I really would rather have George Kittle, even in a vacuum, straight up, side by side. I really do think I would take George Kittle over Travis Kelce. It's
And
gonna
what's the
be
reason?
inconsistent with Travis Kelce, and it's gonna be inconsistent with George Kittle. But George Kittle's gonna have those weeks where he just goes off. I don't know. Is Kelsey really going to do that? I don't know. And I got him in my most important league. Couldn't trade him for nothing. Couldn't even get K. Dotton.
Yeah, I'm sure you tried to trade Travis Kelsey for Kate Otten.
Man, I swear to God, I did. It had a first round pick involved, but
Yeah, that's more like it.
I had Cooper Kupp involved too, though. But well, that's just beside the point. I do got it. It's like it goes Laporta, Kincaid, Trey McBride, Mark Andrews, George Kittle, Travis Kelsey. I want any of them 6. I would like to have the
That's
cheapest
it.
of those 6. I would like to have. I mean, I don't know. Whew. I'm taking any tight end I can get below ADP, or I want the cheapest one, and it goes to 6 to me. A lot of people say 5. I've been doing best ball like 5. George Kittle's kind of grown on me a little bit.
He's the
Some
last. He's
people,
the last one usually going. It's usually
yeah,
the top 5 that we mentioned with Andrews, McBride, Laporta, Kelsey, Kincaid, and then Kittle's kind of in his
yep,
own tier.
yep.
Even in redraft leagues where he's almost kind of a steal in your draft.
Hey, and if Big Dunk were sitting on this pod tonight, he would include Kyle Pitts and make it a top 7, and he would take Kyle Pitts probably up there. What do you say? We gotta have him on.
You'd
He
have
would
him at
probably,
number 1.
yeah. No, I'm gonna
It's
say 2.
crazy.
He wouldn't put him ahead of Laporta, would he? No way.
I don't know. He had Kyle Pitts as his dynasty tight end 1, so obviously he'd probably have him over Laporta.
All
That's
right.
crazy to me. But
Well,
just to go on Kittle, it is a little inconsistent. But if you're looking at the end of the year scoring in PPR, he was the tight end 5. The year before, tight end 3, tight end 4. So
yep,
we have him ranked right where he finishes pretty much every single year.
yep, yep. Agreed. Agreed. All right. So that's pretty much how I roll. I got that main top 6. We got the same top 6 though in the end, though, Kraft. Ending with
Yeah,
Kelsey and Kittle.
same top 6, and I think I can guess your 7 because I got Evan Ingram at number 7.
Nah, I got Kyle Pitts.
Do you? Yeah,
I would take a shot
Kyle Pitts
at that point.
isn't in my top 10.
Yeah. Look, man, at that point, that's where I would say I'm gonna try to take a shot at Kyle Pitts and just see how it rolls. I've never been the biggest hater of Kyle Pitts, and I do think it would be better. It's gonna be better this year. I think he probably was hurt last year. All that. But man, he's been so bad. He was so bad last year. But I still think this is just tight ends, and I just think upside at that point, his upside is way higher than Evan Ingram, and from then on, so I would take the shot.
Yeah, not me. I mean, that's all I gotta say. I do have him in my top 10, but he's not. He's not at number 7. Evan Ingram's got to be the guy. I mean, I would take Evan Ingram 10 out of 10 times before I mess with Kyle Pitts. That's just a headache waiting to happen again. And I swear, if Kyle Pitts has another year like he has been having, I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear no
Nothing.
excuses. I don't want to hear nothing from that. Even if Kirk Cousins go down and Michael Penix is the starter, I still don't want to hear anything about it.
Facts. I agree 1,000% with that, Kraft man. 1,000%. He better
What do we
produce
what
this
do we
year.
usually what do we usually say about like bad quarterback play or rookie quarterbacks coming in? They usually favor throwing to their tight ends and their running backs
Yeah.
a lot more than experienced quarterbacks. Kyle Pitts, I'm not saying that he should have been a top guy the last couple of years with the quarterback play he had. It is different, a lot different with Kirk Cousins coming in, the way he peppered T.J. Hawkinson with targets, but he should have been able to do better than he did.
Yeah. I agree 1,000%. Look, you got Ingram at 7. I got him at 8. You know how I feel about Evan Ingram. This is a guy who, I mean, had like 13 targets in a game. Like, they design
Multiple
plays
times.
for their tight end in Jacksonville. They give Evan Ingram touches. This is what I've been saying from the jump with Evan Ingram. Like, they literally go out of their way to get Evan Ingram touches. You know what I'm saying? Greens, saying down set hut and just throwing it right to him. How many times have you seen them do it? I've seen them do it so many times. This is, you know what? Evan Ingram is like my favorite tight end pick, like in like best ball, all that. I mean, I like Jake Ferg, and I listen. My list ends like Ingram, Jake Ferg, and Joku. 8, 9, 10. That's my top 10 this year. Evan Ingram is like one of my favorite picks.
Evan Ingram had 143 targets last year with 114 receptions. 963 yards, only 4 touchdowns. So I can see the touchdowns coming up, even if the targets take a little dip. But this is pretty much, it's not the exact same receiving core, but in my opinion, it's worse. I think Calvin Ridley is better than Brian Thomas is. At
No.
this point in his career, Calvin Ridley is better than Brian Thomas. And you still got Christian Kirk there that's going to hog targets, but Evan Ingram's, there ain't nothing going to change. How could you possibly shake your head that bad at Calvin Ridley? And I don't even like Calvin Ridley, but you're talking about a rookie coming in. Calvin Ridley he wasn't what everybody wanted last year, and we pointed that out that everybody was drafting him way too high. He still finishes like wide receiver 17, so the guy wasn't bad. And Calvin Ridley led the NFL in red zone targets last year. Crazy. So where's that going to go? Evan Ingram, Christian Kirk. Maybe Brian Thomas is the guy that everybody wants him to be.
Yes, sir.
Evan Ingram's going to be the guy.
Yeah, I will definitely have some Brian Thomas Jr. and Average Joes. We'll go out of my way to make sure I get him. All right. Crash,
I think that was end zone targets for Calvin Ridley, not red zone targets, but end zone targets.
Nah, I'm just kidding. You're right. Definitely today, Calvin Ridley's better. I just think it's funny. I just traded for Calvin Ridley today. Listen, Kraft man, Jake Ferg, you know where I stand on him. I think the Cowboys, he's really their number 2 option. Like I said, Dak Prescott and the Cowboys, they could lead the league in pass attempts this year. That's why I'm not even worried about CD. I mean, that dude's young. I don't really think he's getting out of shape. He doesn't really feel like the type. Jake Ferg, it's just, I mean, pretty much you're the wide receiver 2 on the most pass heavy team in the league. I mean, he could be higher. I just keep looking at my list. He could be higher, but I don't know where I would move him. Maybe ahead of Pitts. Makes me want to put them both ahead of Pitts.
I already did. I'll do it for us.
And then Njoku. And he just has a lot more upside than the rest of the guys we're drafting. And that's just where it all ends for me. I definitely want one of them 10. Gotta get one of them 10. If I can't get one of them 10, then I'm just gonna be down there in Tyler Conklin range and stuff like that at that point.
Dave Ferguson is one of the guys that I pretty much draft every time in the 8th round. I mean, if I can't get one of the top guys, if Evan Ingram falls a little bit, I'm always drafting him. But like we said about Jake Ferguson, CD's done missed all of training camp. And Dak Prescott has been working with Brandon Cooks and Jake Ferguson. Jake Ferguson is going to get off to a hot start anyway. And just based on CD missing all this time in training camp, CD's still going to come back and be good. But Ferguson, 25 red zone targets last year, turned that into 5 touchdowns. But if you go back to the playoffs, he scored 3 touchdowns against the Packers. It all came to a head where he kept getting peppered with targets in the red zone. It was never working out. And then, bam, he starts scoring touchdowns. And this is a guy that I've said as like a hot take where I think he could lead tight ends in the touchdown category this year. And sometimes that's kind of all I want. There's not a lot of tight ends in the league that are going to put up. We just talked about Evan Ingram, 114 receptions last year. Still didn't top 1,000 yards. Not a lot of tight ends are 1,000-yard type receivers and PPR guys. They rely a lot on touchdowns. And I think this is a safe tight end pick where you can't miss with this one. The Dallas Cowboys love throwing to tight ends. Dak Prescott loved throwing to tight ends. We had a lot of good years with Dalton Schultz there before Jake Ferguson even arrived. So it's just going to continue that trend.
I agree. Finish off your list, Kraft man. Get it on with it. I'm done.
I got Kyle Pitts at 9 and David Njoku at 10. And David Njoku I've been back and forth with him. There was a point in the offseason where it was between Ferguson and Njoku. and I was back and forth. Kyle Pitts was never on my board because he was already gone before I even thought about his name. But Ferguson's kind of taken that leap over David Njoku. But at the end of the season last year, great, like incredible, won you league winner tight end.
Yep.
Not with Deshaun Watson, and that's the problem that everybody's having. And that's the question you got to ask: did David Njoku break out last season, and the end of the year, the coaching staff is going to be like, "Oh, we got to get David Njoku as a main target in this offense," which I think it is going to be Amari Cooper, David Njoku as the main targets.
Yep.
But I don't believe enough in Deshaun Watson to put him up any higher, and that could be a problem with
My
Deshaun
guy's
Watson
sitting out because his arm is sore crap, man.
Something is up with Deshaun, man.
Listen, man.
Here's
Here's my thing with athletes, and it happened to my favorite NBA player. It's like I used to talk about Carmelo Anthony. When he went to New York, that dude was he didn't care about winning. He just went over there, got fat, playing basketball, just scoring points. My favorite player, Kawhi Leonard, he went back home to the Clippers. Man, that dude don't care. That dude does not care anymore. He's resting, man. He's sitting out this game. They just get fat and happy, man. Get fat and happy. This man, Deshaun Watson, might have just did that. He's got all that money. He's like, man, I'm in Cleveland.
Yeah.
He's fat and happy.
Who wants to play in Cleveland?
And it's like when you get all that money, you don't want to go out there and play in the cold and get sacked and all that stuff. You got it made.
I think this offense would be better with Jameis Winston back there, to be honest.
And you know me,
fantasy-wise.
I'm a Clemson fan through and through. But Deshaun Watson got to get his mind right this year. Got to. I mean, I get it. I didn't really think this news was a big deal, but come on, bro. I just don't even want to see that in the little thing. Arm soreness. I'm sitting out because of arm soreness. That's just crazy. Crap, man. I say we just wrap this episode on up.
Yeah, I say we're good. As far as like tight end sleepers go, I really don't have any, to be honest. I was high on Pat Freiermuth for a while there, but I think after these guys, and I will say with tight ends this year, this is not the year to go late tight end.
Yeah,
it's not the year. I've always been on the late tight end train. I sometimes don't even draft them and just stream them as the year goes on, just like I do defenses. I didn't look at them any different. If I didn't get Kelsey or Andrews, or Kittle or something like that, I was just like, yeah, I'm out. But this year, I think that drafting the tight end early is not early, but 5th round, fourth at the earliest, and from about the 4th to the 8th round is a good time to draft one of these guys, whichever one you like the most.
Right.
Even Kyle Pitts if you like him, but
Yeah. I'm with you, crap, man. If they could just see your eye roll on that one, even Kyle Pitts, if you like him, I can
see a good year, but I mean, I'm just out. I don't think he's as good of a player. It's not the fact that the quarterback play, but watching him last year, it was rough, man. Like he was not explosive. He wasn't the Kyle Pitts you've seen in his rookie year. Getting fat and happy too, I guess.
Yep. Hey man, sick of talking about these tight ends, man. We ending it right there. Kraft man, anything you want to say to the folks out there?
The same thing I always say. Appreciate everybody for listening, man. And we're like 2 days away or 1 day away for some leagues from really getting into it. So come and listen to these episodes and tell us what you think about it.
Yep. 5-star review, all the good stuff, yada yada. But with that said, we out.
Peace.